Hi, this is Sets Like Rabbits. Today I'm tackling the question of, can Jango clones have the Force? Of all the things that I've watched, everyone says no. Because Jango Fett didn't have the Force, it's easy to assume that not a single clone has it. The thing is, all you need is the right genes to support them. According to most people, it leans heavily on genetics. This has been shown throughout Star Wars. A small fact about the metachlorians before I continue. Metachlorians give you access to the Force, it is not the Force itself. Why wouldn't a bunch of high-tech space wizards want to know how their powers scientifically work? I know I would. Can the clones have the Force? Yes, but only very few, since the genes that support metachlorian growth are recessive, mostly ranging around 5,900 or less metachlorians per cell. Generation Tech has a video on metachlorian counts if you're curious. I suspect that most Mandalorians don't go above 5,900 due to their history of hunting Force users. They deliberately wiped out genes with a strong connection of the Force due to misunderstanding, even among their own. It was a witch hunt. The chances of a clone having the Force is very slim. Only 1 in several million may have an active gene. We see recessive genes being active in the Jango clones all the time. Rex with blonde hair, clones with blue eyes, Dogma snores, and Chopper has heterochromia. The list goes on. But this would be harder to show on the outside, as it isn't physically visible. Like a purple spleen or something. One way you could tell that they have it is by their reaction to things that are about to happen. They respond to things as if they can't hear or see them coming, giving a slight flying, fighting, or hunting advantage, especially during Order 66. The second way to tell is to have a metachlorian count test done on them. The Jedi Order is unlikely to test them due to their own assumptions about the clones. They too believe clones can't have the Force due to Jango not having it. The Kaminoans may have a database for them, but we'll never know. I suspect that Commander Fox is a Force sensitive. As this is a theory, I may be wrong. But hear me out. He is the only clone that reacts to Anakin coming a second before he orders him to do anything. Twice. The direct-to-TV scene has it where Fox turns just as Rex enters the hall. In the straight-to-DVD version, he turns before they're visible, so that part's iffy. But in the scene where he's outside and on the comm with his men, he perks up and tries to disappear before Anakin says a word. He can't see his men looking at Anakin, nor do they bother letting him know he's coming. Plus, Anakin has to speak loudly for anyone to hear him over the thunder. Due to the fact that he never takes off his helmet, all his senses are muffled, making it mildly hard for him to see or hear anyone coming. Fox comes around the corner knowing that Ahsoka has stopped running, accurately shooting warning shots past her shoulders without stopping to check. A normal person would have assumed that she was still running and would have had to switch tracks before shooting at her. I also suspect that because it's so weak, he thinks it's intuition and unconsciously hones it to help him hunt down criminals. Jedi Temple guards do this all the time to hunt down dark side users. He normally goes after normal people, and so Ahsoka's easy. In the pipes, Fox is always 40 feet or more away. Plus, a second, stronger Force user can muddle up this tracking ability if they're too close to the weak Force sensitive. So when they're running through the pipes, Fox is almost as clueless as Rex is in that moment. When Anakin is far enough away, Fox changes direction and actually leads the charge in Ahsoka's direction, only missing her because she calmed down, and again, Anakin was too close. Emotional states can affect the power output of these little buggers. Rex asking is something he would have shouted every few seconds to try and locate them. And shouting also indicates that he can't calm anyone in the pipes, which he likely tried. Due to the pipes being inaccessible to most escapees, it wasn't necessary to study its layout. 99% of the prisoners don't have the capability of cutting through steel a foot thick. If you follow the path Ahsoka and Anakin took, it's full of large fans, many turns, noisy mini waterfalls, and large spaces with small animals swimming around. Non-Force users couldn't track anyone in those pipes except by following the questionable ripples, weird echoes, or even using massives to sniff them out. You never see the dogs in the tunnels due to how hard they'd be controlling the muck. One wrong slip and they'd be loose to tear Ahsoka to shreds. Before Rex shows up here, Anakin's ripples would have disappeared, making tracking impossible. Between the echoes bouncing off the walls and the mini waterfalls, echolocation was difficult, so this would have put Fox's abilities to the test. After Ahsoka jumped, we see a glimpse of Fox without his blasters, meaning he knew what was about to happen and holsters them in hopes of catching her by the hand, but was 2 seconds too late. Rex, throughout the show, has never shown any signs that he's a Force sensitive. It's a Fett gene that's possibly more recessive than heterochromia. In the show, we're never shown Fox interacting with Force users other than Ahsoka and Anakin. When Obi-Wan was disguised as Rico Hardeen, we only got to see Fox respond to Anakin in fear. Obi-Wan was drunk and couldn't interact normally. This does bring up the Palpatine in the room. Why can't Fox detect the dark side in Chancellor then? Simple. Palps has been hiding it for years from trained Jedi. Trained Jedi! Fox wouldn't be able to tell the difference even with training. It's hard for a Force user to detect a Force sensitive unless they are directly looking for them, and vice versa. To use metachlorians properly, you have to exercise them, kind of like muscles. Fox would have only learned to exercise them recently, seeing as Kamino has 0 Force users except for a Jedi or 2 that visited. This makes it difficult for a Force-sensitive clone to get any training. Palpatine knows that putting a Force-sensitive in charge of the Coruscant Guard is strategic. Having one in his ranks, even a weak one, increases the chance of him wiping out the Jedi tenfold, especially those in hiding. Since we aren't shown much of Fox, we have to use what we have as evidence of his abilities. We are shown him reacting to people's emotions, things that are about to happen, and his insane tracking and shooting skills. He could have the Force, but again, as is a theory, I could be wrong. Hi, just popping in for a sec. It would be interesting if Jay's theory is true. I want Glitch, a clone in the comics who thought he had the Force. He reacts to things seconds before it happens, but considering the story that's built up so far, I think it actually fit better if it turned out that he had the same abilities as Hunter, just a bit weaker, like a prototype or a lighter dosage. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and comment down below if you've noticed any other clones showing possible Force abilities. Bye!